Construction launched at the site of Dili's International Convention Center. Vendors prohibited from selling food near school grounds. Timorese flag flown under the sea for restoration of Independence Day. Rttl.Ep kick off their season with a win in first match of Football League. Welcome back to RTTL World News. I'm Zekedes. As Timor-Leste celebrated its 24th anniversary of restoration of Independence Day on Wednesday, a groundbreaking ceremony was held for the International Convention Center. The investment reflects Timor-Leste's commitment to assume the chairmanship of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and host its meetings in 2029. The ASEAN Summit is set to be a huge international event and could cost hundreds of millions of dollars.
A groundbreaking ceremony on a historic day as Timor-Leste looks forward to fully integrating itself in the ASEAN bloc and its affairs.
In the last summit in Cebu, I expressed our intention to receive the chairmanship of ASEAN in 2029. That is why we are here to start this vision, this commitment.
ASEAN stands ready to continue supporting Timor-Leste's development and integration efforts as we work together to build a stronger, more connected, and more inclusive ASEAN community.
Although the government hasn't revealed the total cost of the investment, the center will cover 70,000 square meters and hold over 17,000 people. It will stand at a primary waterfront next to Timor-Leste's government palace and overlooking Atauru Island. The 4-story center will include an exhibition hall, 42 meeting rooms, an over 4,000 square meter aquarium, and a retail entertainment area anchored by a Ferris wheel.
We are the new member. We still have many things to do, many things to prove, but it doesn't mean that we cannot prepare ourselves for 2029.
Facilities such as this will enhance Timor-Leste to host regional and international engagements, facilitate exchanges, attract investment and tourism, and generate broad economic opportunities for local communities and people.
Timor-Leste officially joined ASEAN in October 2025. The now 11-member regional grouping represents a population of more than 680 million people. Today, ASEAN grouping represents the world's 5th largest economy with a combined GDP of $4 trillion American dollars. Every year, member states take turns to lead the regional bloc and host its summits, and Timor-Leste has been scheduled to lead and host in 2029.
In 2029, Timor-Leste will lead ASEAN, a big challenge that gives us a good opportunity that we've never dreamed about. All these transformations only have meaning when it reflects in people's lives, in access to health, education, and opportunities for our young people.
The regional grouping opens new economic opportunities for Timor-Leste, a young democracy with the second lowest GDP per capita in the region. Not only the venue, the government also needs other critical facilities, including airport, hotels, trained officials, and communication systems to host ASEAN Summit and meetings. Dili's International Airport construction is underway, which will see an upgrade to the passenger terminal, runway, and apron to accommodate bigger aircraft and air traffic. The revamp of the airport cost over $200 million. Hosting ASEAN summits also requires massive security personnel.
We will be working very close with the ASEAN Secretariat. We don't have the experience. They have the experience, not only from the ASEAN Secretariat, but also from the ASEAN member states, ASEAN dialogue partners, external partners, sectoral dialogue partners. They will be there to assist us. And this is going to be our first experience.
At the ASEAN summit in Cebu early this month, the Philippines government deployed over 7,000 personnel to provide security for the event. The Filipino government has also put aside approximately $283 million to host hundreds of ASEAN meetings during its chairmanship of ASEAN in 2026. It is still 3 years until Timor-Leste takes on the chairmanship and the expenses required to play host.
Obviously, the country will have to allocate a certain amount of money to make sure our chairmanship is going to be a meaningful one.
The International Convention Center's construction is expected to complete in 2028, right before Timor-Leste is set to assume ASEAN chairmanship. Pauline Quintaun, Sonia Madeira, RTTL World News.
As construction of the International Convention Center begins, the permanent representative of Timor-Leste to the United Nations shares his views on ASEAN accession and what chairing the bloc in 2029 will mean for the nation. In part 2 of his interview with RTTL World News, Ambassador Dionysio Babo Suarez also comments on bilateral relations between Timor-Leste and Myanmar after a war crimes case was filed against Myanmar President Min Aung Hlaing earlier this month.
In your opinion, how can Timor-Leste capitalize on its accession into ASEAN?
It's a market of about $4 trillion US. It has almost 700 million people. It's a huge market. Timor-Leste has to its own way to find a way to get these benefits. These benefits are there, so it's up to us to actually work and find the ways to do that. So we have to improve our economy. We have to do a lot of in terms of exploring the productive sectors and making sure that our economy is thriving and also not depending very much on oil and gas. We need to actually move beyond oil and gas and start thinking about developing our local economy and use our real sort of like annual income to fund our development and also to engage actively. It's not just conferences. It's just visit to these countries and talking about all the nice things, listening to people talk, and then we share ideas, but without any real progress made on the ground. How can we capitalize? So we have to have the means, and we need to do some serious structural reforms within Timor.
What does it mean to Timor-Leste to be chair of ASEAN in 2029?
Chairing ASEAN in 2029 will not only be historic first. It is an opportunity to showcase Timor-Leste to how to attract investors and shape the regional agenda. But all this can only be done if we strengthen our infrastructure, our institutions, and legal frameworks to meet ASEAN standards and deliver as a credible, effective chair. I have no doubt that we have our leaders who are able to do that. But our leaders need support from people like us. We have to have capable diplomats who, during the chairmanship, able to share, meetings at a technical level, not only with technical knowledge, but capacity to interact, to direct, and to hatch policies for the benefit not only of our benefits, but for the benefit of ASEAN as a whole.
In terms of bilateral relations, how do you view the situation between Timor-Leste and Myanmar and the war crimes case filed against President Min Aung Hlaing early this month?
At the UN, Timor-Leste aligns itself with the ASEAN's 5-point consensus and supports a peaceful, inclusive, and democratic solution led by the Myanmar people. I mean, we cannot intervene too much in that because even ASEAN, and we as a member of ASEAN, we, have actually for this 5-point consensus, and we expect, the Myanmar authorities to do it themselves as well as the people of Myanmar. But even intentions and the expulsion of our ambassadors, our diplomats, our position remains to work through the regional mechanisms, international law, to end the violence and restore legitimacy or legitimate political process in Myanmar. We have our own way of achieving peace, but we also expect that they could be willing enough. And I believe very much that this issue of Myanmar that's been dragged on and on for a long time could come to an end through dialogue, reconciliation, and through non-violence means.
Thank you, Ambassador, for talking with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Street vendors in Bekora make a living selling food to students near the vocational technical secondary school. But the school's principal has repeatedly asked the vendors not to sell near the school grounds as it impacts the school's image and the students' learning and nutrition.
At 25 cents a portion, chicken and rice is an affordable option for hungry school students. But a small group of vendors selling food near the compound of the Vocational Technical Secondary School in Bekora, Dili, have continually been asked to move on by the school's management.
It's people's right to sell things who want to do business, but this is not a place for business.
Vendors have sold their goods near the school since 2020, earning a maximum of $20 per day.
Our children are still in schools, in university, in secondary school. They depend on us and we don't have jobs. This is how we earn a living selling home-cooked meals.
This is our lives. We sell home-cooked meals to pay for our children's needs.
The principal says vendors have damaged school property and continue to distract students from their learning.
Before they used to sell it so close to the school fence and made holes in the fence. They damaged the school property. This school has many visitors from national and international guests. So when the vendors sell stuff in front of the school, it gives a bad image and distracts students' attention. That's why we ban it.
Justina da Silva argued that vendors like herself should be able to sell near the school grounds alongside the school canteen.
Is there any law that allows schools, principal and teachers to sell meals in the school canteen? Why does it only apply to us? Everyone knows the canteen inside the school is owned by the school principal.
But Ms. De Almeida rejected the claim.
The school canteen has always existed. The technical support office of the school selected and controls a company to sell goods in the canteen. The director does not sell anything in the school.
Ms. Bendita said that in the past students would buy food through the fence or even climb over the fence, leading the school to increase the height of the fence.
The shell of meals outside made the students climb the fence. It was dangerous for the students. That's why we requested the vendors not to sell the food here. We just want to protect the school property, and the school canteen is not owned by the school principal.
In 2022, the Timorese government and the World Health Organization launched a school health campaign to ensure students have access to healthy and hygienic meals. Ms. Bendita encourages families and carers to provide nutritious meals for their children, with the school canteen offering healthy food for those who are unable.
We've informed parents to pack their children's lunch boxes because once the children are in school, they are not allowed to go outside and buy lunch.
The ongoing dispute between the school and the vendors has been raised with local police, with a resolution to be determined. Vicky Madeira, Judas Magno, Lenia Lai, RTTL World News.
While hundreds gathered at Tasitolu to honor Timor-Leste's restoration of independence on Wednesday, a small group of Timorese divers took to nearby waters to celebrate in a different way. To honor the occasion, Dreamers Dive Academy students and instructors raised the national flag under the surface.
New divers celebrating under the sea.
Today we do activities such as raising the flag of Timor-Leste under the sea to pay tribute to the heroes who died for national liberation.
Usually we just see people like now they're celebrating, they just put the flag in the land. But now it's underwater.
Restoration of Independence Day coincided with these Dreamers Dive Academy students completing their diving courses.
So this is the second time they're gonna dive again to finish their course, and we try to give them the skills how to navigate.
Throughout the course, students learned about the biodiversity of Timor's waters and the importance of protecting them.
Through our activities in the sea during this time, we observed that Timor-Leste has a unique biodiversity. Therefore, ask the community not to throw garbage arbitrarily, but maintain an environment that also preserves our resources in the sea.
We are really lucky because we are part of the Coral Triangle, and Timor-Leste is the most biodiversity in coral triangles.
Technique and safety is of utmost importance.
We just go in, practice their compass skills and also their survival skills, especially emergency.
But the Dreamers Dive Academy team had some fun along the way.
We try to finish this course by celebrating, in the same time celebrating our Independence Day. So it was like an honor to combine this celebration with the students.
The flag was taken down at the end of the activity, but will be raised again by a new batch of divers to celebrate the restoration of Independence Day next year. Jerry Madeira, RTTL World News.
Motorsports like Formula One, supercars, and drifting have long been dominated by men, but with more women competing at the sport's highest levels and grassroots programs teaching girls basic skills, female participation is growing.
After getting in the driver's seat 2 years ago, Rttl.Ep fell in love with drifting.
As soon as I flicked the car out for the first time and just that pure adrenaline, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Starting as a track photographer, the 21-year-old was asked one day why she wasn't driving.
The next following week, I bought this 86 that I'm sitting in right now.
Now, she's often the only woman on the track.
People don't think, oh, it's a chick versus a guy. It's 86 versus whatever, it's, you know, skill level.
At Sydney Motorsport Park this month, a group of women was taught basic car control.
You get a lot of happiness from being able to do it for the first time. You feel very proud of yourself.
It's a national program introducing women to motorsport.
Losing control of a car is never a fun experience unless you know what you're doing. So to have our coaches there in the car with them will settle them down.
Alice Buckley is a rising star of supercars.
People do come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I want to be like you.
She's the fourth woman to compete in the Super 2 series.
There's an interest for it and there's more of an audience for females to watch it. It's not just about the men anymore.
Motorsport's most prestigious division is Formula One, and almost half of the people that went to watch this year's Australian Grand Prix were women. It comes as an all-female Formula 4 series called F1 Academy enters its fourth year. However, Georgia will keep going head-to-head with the boys.
It's always nice going on the track and showing them how it's done.
And she's not hitting the brakes anytime soon.
Defending champions Rttl FC defeated AS Marca FC in the opening match of the 2026 Timor-Leste Football League. Former Emmanuel FC striker Anzanuku Vegas made a brilliant debut for Rttl FC, scoring 2 goals and 2 assists. Rttl FC and AS Marca took to the pitch at Dili Stadium on Friday to begin the battle for the 2026 Timor-Leste Football League title. The crowd was not as lively as the FFTL League Cup earlier this year. But eager fans were treated to a match of high intensity. After some early chances in the opening minutes, striker Ezequiel da Cruz gave Marca the lead in the 6th minute. However, Rttl equalized 5 minutes later through Daniel Gayo. In the 22nd minute, Rttl's new striker Anzanuku Vegas made a sharp penetration from the left flank, passing the ball to Daniel Gayo, who converted his second goal and gave Rttl the lead at halftime. Anzanuku continued his excellent form in the second half, increasing Rtt's lead in the 65th minute. Gabriel Omar gave Marca some hope with a goal in the 74th minute. However, Anzanuku Vegas proved a nightmare for Marca once again, the debutant scoring a brace after an 85th minute goal. The 4-2 win secured 3 points for Rttl FC in their opening match.
The 3 points are not just the result of my own efforts, but also the team's. We implemented the strategy as directed by the coach during training. Rttl FC is the club I've always dreamed of playing for since I was a child.
It was a good game, a good test, and my boys were organized. We stick to our instructions, and then we took them on a break. So we go back there and then organize our mistakes, work on our mistakes, and then as the league continue, I believe our performance will uplift our performance.
The 2026 season will run for 1 round or half a season, seeing all teams play each other just once. Zegeres, Raimundo da Conceição, RTTL World News. And now the weather, starting with Dili. Mostly cloudy with a brief shower or 2 in the afternoon, a top temperature of 31 and a low of 22 degrees. Partly cloudy in Baucau with temperatures ranging between 29 and 20 degrees. In Lauten, a couple of morning showers in the morning, clearing in the afternoon, a high of 28 and a low of 21 degrees. Mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of morning showers in Bobonaro, a top temperature of 27 and a low of 17. And up in Eleu, mostly cloudy with a thunder shower in the afternoon, temperatures ranging between 25 and 14. Now, looking abroad, in Kupang, breezy and partly sunny, a high of 32 and a low of 24. A couple of morning showers in Bali, otherwise overcast, temperatures ranging between 31 and 25. In Jakarta, some sunshine with a couple of thunderstorms in the afternoon, a top of 32 and a low of 24. Warm and partly cloudy in Seoul, a high of 30 and a low of 18 degrees. In Darwin, clear and breezy, temperatures ranging between 33 and 22 degrees. In Sydney, windy with clouds increasing throughout the day and scattered afternoon showers, a high of 22 and a low of 15 degrees. Sunshine and some clouds in Lisbon with temperatures ranging between 28 and 17. Very warm with plenty of sunshine in London, a top temperature of 30 and a low of 16. And nice and warm with sun and some clouds in Belfast, a high of 22 and a low of 12. Thanks for joining us again on the program RTTL World News. We'll be back with more stories on Thursday. Bye for now.